Hey, you got time for a beer? I know I do. Welcome to my show. My name's Jake. It's not Thursday, but I do have a new beer here for you. Don't forget you can find me at tubajake_69 on Untapped, YouTube, and Twitter, and on Instagram you can find me at tubajake_. So, yeah, don't forget to tell me your stories. I like to hear them. Hopefully you do too. I'm going to tell you a story. I will. I don't know what it is yet, but it's going to happen. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe also, because then other people get to see this, and I like that too. So the beer I've got for you today is Gitche Gumee. It's a juicy IPA, double dry hopped with Eldorado, Citra, and Cascade hops. From MiddleCoast Brewing, MiddleCoast Brewing Company. They're out of Traverse City. New England style pale ale, 55 IBUs, 7.4% ABV. My brother says it's more bitter than he was expecting, so I guess we'll see. So he said it's more bitter than he was expecting. I don't know exactly what that means. I mean, it should be hazy at the very least, because usually they are. It's 7.4. It's a little bit high, but it's right about where it should be for an IPA. Maybe I should have rolled this guy around a little bit. That's interesting. You know, for an East Coast IPA, juicy IPA, New England style India Pale Ale. New England style to me generally says that it's going to be juicy, generally hazy, because, you know, New England style. I'm not getting much scent off of this yet. Still, that was just a bad pour. I don't think that's got anything to do with this. I'm getting more grapefruit, which, I mean, you'd expect in an IPA. Very carbonated, apparently. Yeah, very carbonated. I can actually taste it. It's got a little piece stuck down, a little bit of foam stuck down in my mouth. It is a little bit sweeter than what I was expecting it to be, but at the 7.4% ABV, you do kind of expect it to be a little bit sweet, or I would expect it to be a little bit sweet. And I guess as I'm pouring this, I'm getting more and more haze to it. So, I mean, it's still pretty clear. Not exactly what I was expecting. And maybe this is what they had when they went out east. I don't know. Some good stuff. I mean, the weird thing is, if somebody were to tell me, hey, that's a Two Hearted clone, I would absolutely believe them. It tastes a lot like Two Hearted, which, I mean, that's one of the things that I tell you later, but it smells a lot like grapefruit. I'm getting a little bit of a grapefruit taste, but mostly I'm getting pine, which, that's fine, just not a thing that I was expecting in an East Coast IPA, because generally those are the hazy, juicy ones. I mean, and this even says that it's a juicy IPA. I'm not sure what kind of juice, like hop juice, Pine juice. Am I saying that's bad? No, just not what I was expecting. Because I was expecting, orange juice, grapefruit juice. But that's not what I'm getting. On the head. That's really weird. I just got my first taste of the actual beer itself. And there's a little bit of a citrus taste to it. There is. Grapefruit, a little bit. Another one, something sweeter. I'm not going to say orange because it's not orange. Not lemon, anything like that. It's not a citrus fruit. It's like a dark mango. Because it's like sweet, but it's a little bit sour. Maybe. Mostly sweet. Maybe it's papaya. I don't know. But it's good. Like I said, if you told me that this is a clone of a Two Hearted, I would believe you. Colorado Citric Cascade. I don't think those are the ones. The lacing's really good on it, though. Really good. Does this remind me of a different beer? I mean, because obviously it reminds me of a Two Hearted, because it tastes like a Two Hearted. I was not expecting that out of this. It's a little less bitter than what I was expecting, too. Which seems strange, because you'd think that it would be, sweet, because generally East Coast IPAs are sweet. Is there another one that this reminds me of? Founders Centennial, maybe a little bit. Except, Centennial hops are a little bit different than this, but if I remember right, it reminds me a bit of this. That's one that I think I had once or twice, and I was like, that's okay. I'll stick with the Two Hearted. So it was a little bit stronger and just as good. Does this remind me of a story? Okay, so Gitche Gumee. It's a big lake. They call it Superior now. Then, when they were calling it Gitche Gumee, it wasn't that. They wrote a song about it. Gordon Lightfoot, he passed recently. Interesting guy. Lots of storytelling songs, folks, really folky. I kind of wish that I would have. My dad got to see him a couple times. I kind of wish that I would have gone to go see, because this dude was 75 years old and traveling the United States, touring with a band. He's singing for a living at 75. Which, I've been told that life on the road is hard, but if you love what you're doing, I don't know. You get to hang out with your friends all the time. If you're making enough money from that to keep your family with you, at 75, what else are you going to do? It's probably the thing that he's done most of his life anyway, because he's around in the 70s, so that's my guess. Man, that would have been an interesting show to go see. My dad actually went to go see him down at Cranbrook. I think it's in Novi. I don't remember for sure. It's someplace close to there, right off of Woodward, but in one of those towns north of Detroit. I'm probably not right on the Novi part, but it's someplace over. It's in Detroit. It's in Detroit if you're from where I'm from. If you're from Detroit, it is not in Detroit. Anyway, he went to go see Gordon Lightfoot, because Dad will go and do those things. And usually he sees like 3 or 4 people that he knows at those kinds of things. It's like, it's really weird. I didn't see anybody that I knew there. But like 5 years later, 10 years later, we're sitting around at the cabin talking with these guys that are going to be new members at our hunting camp. And Dad talks about going down there to see Gordon Lightfoot, and Marty, one of the guys, well, he is one of the guys, but one of the guys that my cousin's son knew that we're joining, it was his dad, and Marty is now part, but Evan is not, whatever, it's a thing. But Marty was like, oh yeah, I was there. I went to that. So he did know somebody there, sort of. Just later. He didn't know him at the time. I'm trying to think of other ones that I've gotten to see. I got to see Jackson Brown and James Taylor down at DTE. I think it was still DTE at that point. It hadn't gone back to being Pine Knob, but both of those guys made a comment about, oh yeah, we're going someplace in Detroit area to this one arena, and they were like, yeah, no idea where that is. And they both got there and they were like, oh wait, this is Pine Knob. I mean, they definitely dropped an F-bomb in there, but both of them dropped an F-bomb in there. I don't know. It was kind of funny. So I got to see those guys, which was pretty cool. Went with my dad. I went with my dad to see Bob Seger in Saginaw. That was a fun time. He was like, I wonder if I know anybody here. Come to find out, we did. One of my mom's best friends and her husband were sitting like 5 seats over and 3 rows in front of where we were sitting. Like looking right at the stage. It was really nice seats. When we went, I didn't know if I was going to be more excited to see Bob Seger or if I was going to see more excited to see Greta Van Fleet, because it was just as their first album was really breaking big, and I had heard of them before their album really broke big, but I was kind of excited because I'd heard them and I was like, wow, this is really cool. Got this band. I mean, essentially they're from Saginaw. They're from Frankenmuth, which is right near Saginaw. But I had friends that had them in classes because I'm old like that. And that was pretty cool. I don't know, just Gitche Gumee. I think I've been swimming in Lake Superior one time. It was cold. That's what I got for you. It's cold. Usually there's a lot of waves. It was 80 degrees that day and the water was still 55. It was cold. But you know, you think about the UP and it always goes right back to snow. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's still snow in the UP. Pretty sure. Little pockets here and there of, and it's not glaciers, it's just that they make a lot of snow up there because, you know, skiing and whatnot. And it makes a lot of snow up there because it's cold and there's a lake. I always thought it was really weird. They roped those kids to go up to Northern, do your visit in the fall, in the summer. It's gorgeous up there. You're like, wow, I'm going to do so much stuff outside. And you get up there, come to find out, you are going to do a lot of stuff outside, but it's not going to be like mountain biking and kayaking. It's going to be, if you're going to use your kayak, it's going to be on the snow, sledding. If you're going to use, and you're going to want skis on your front tire for your bike because it's going to be rough, or studded tires or something like that if you're going to ride your bike. You're probably going to do a lot more snowshoeing, and having a snowmobile up there is probably going to do a lot better for you than having a 4-wheel drive Jeep. Yeah, Gitche Gumee. Quite a place. Anyway, I've got a quote for you. This one's from Michael J. Fox. He says, "I am careful not to confuse excellence with perfection. Excellence I can reach for. Perfection is God's business." I mean, you can be really good at something. Are you going to be perfect? No, because you're going to be able to pick that apart every time. Someone will be like, "Wow, that was perfect," and you'll be like, "Yeah, but I could have fixed this, and it would have been closer to that." I've heard a couple of things recently about, well, if you know a lot about something, then you realize how much you don't know. But if you just know that it's there, then you think you know everything about it. Or something like that. I don't think that's exactly how that goes, but it's something like that. So, I mean, strive for excellence. Leave perfection up to the perfectionist. Anyway, don't forget, you can find me at Untapped, YouTube, and Twitter, all at @TubaJake_69, and on Instagram, you can find me at @TubaJake_. Don't forget to tell me your stories. I like to hear them. Hopefully you do too, because I'm going to tell you stories, even if they're weird and rambling and don't necessarily make any sense. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because I like it when you do that. Yeah, I think that's all I got for you. I'll see you next time when you got time for a beer.